Imagine a tiny island, smaller than New York City, with no natural resources, no fresh water supply, and a struggling economy. In 1965, Singapore had just been expelled from Malaysia, left to fend for itself with little hope. Many thought the country wouldn't survive, but today, Singapore stands as one of the richest, most developed, and technologically advanced nations in the world. How did this happen? Buckle up, because this is one of the greatest success stories in history. Singapore in the 1960s was a mess. It had just been kicked out of Malaysia. People were poor, unemployment was sky high, and racial tensions were boiling over. The world looked at this tiny island and thought, there's no way they'll make it. But one man had a vision, Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew wasn't just any leader. He knew that for Singapore to survive, it had to become something no one expected, an economic powerhouse. But how? Step 1. Make the country attractive for global business. Lee and his team focused on corruption-free governance, strong laws, and a business-friendly environment. They welcomed multinational corporations with open arms, promising low taxes, stability, and an efficient workforce. But attracting companies wasn't enough. Singapore had almost no natural resources, no oil, no gold, no farmland. So, they turned their people into the country's greatest asset. They invested heavily in education, making Singapore's workforce one of the smartest and most disciplined in the world. They focused on STEM, technology, and finance, creating a nation of highly skilled professionals.
While many developing nations struggled with infrastructure, Singapore did the opposite. They built a world-class port, the best airport in the region, and one of the most efficient public transport systems in the world. Today, Changi Airport is ranked the best airport on Earth. Fast forward a few decades, and Singapore is now one of the richest countries on the planet. The GDP per capita went from just a few $100s in the 1960s, to over $80,000 today. The country is now a financial hub, a tech powerhouse, and a global leader in innovation. From nothing, to everything. The world doubted Singapore, but it proved everyone wrong.
So what can the rest of the world learn from Singapore's rise? 1. Invest in education. 2. Build strong leadership. 3. Adapt to the future instead of fearing it. This tiny island proved that size doesn't matter, vision does. Singapore didn't just survive, it became one of the greatest economic miracles of our time.
If you found this story inspiring, hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible stories, and let us know in the comments, what do you think was the biggest factor in Singapore's rise?